Today I'm going to explain an adventure thriller movie Wrong Turn released in the year 2003. The movie is about a group of people who take a wrong turn in a jungle surrounded by an extremely dense forest and lose their way. What they uncover during their fateful mistake is out of the world. Let's find out how many of them return back alive. But before we begin, please subscribe to our channel and beware of the spoilers. The movie opens with a couple named Richard and Haley who can be seen hiking on a hill in a jungle. As Richard completes his hike and climbs up the hill, he gets killed by someone and his body is thrown down the hill by the killer, due to which Haley starts to get the upside. Haley manages to escape from there and reaches near her car, but then she gets trapped into a sharp fence wire and gets her foot injured. Haley is then seen to drag backward by someone and is killed too. After that, we are shown a few articles about 3 men who have undergone some genetic mutations that resulted in the resistance to pain and have shown some violent behavior due to the effects on their psychology, making them cannibals with saw-shaped teeth, 3 fingers instead of 5, and just 1 eye. We also see pictures of many missing persons and dead bodies along with this information. The scene then shifts to a man named Chris who listens to the news of Haley and Richard going missing but ignores it. Chris covers a small distance and sees that the road he is on is blocked. He gets out of his car and talks to a truck driver who tells him about a tractor that has spilled oil all over the road and that it was going to take a lot of time to clear up. Chris turns his car to an alternative route and calls a woman named Doris. He calls her to tell her that he might be late for the interview, but the call gets disconnected due to poor connectivity. Chris reaches a shop where he tries to contact the girl again through the phone booth, but the phone is not working. Chris asks the shop owner whether or not he has another phone, and he answers back by saying he only has one phone which is out of order. Chris looks at the map and watches a dirt road and leaves from there, deciding to reach his destination through that. On his way, Chris gets distracted by a dead animal and gets into an accident with a car where he meets 5 friends named Francine, Avon, Scott, Carly, and Jesse. They all appear after the accident. Chris gets worried and tells them he will pay for all the loss and damage that he has caused them. They all ask him to get relaxed, and on being asked tell him that they have a flat tire because someone has set up a sharp wire trap there. Jesse tells them about the shop she has seen on her way, but Chris tells them that the shop has no phone, due to which they decide to find a route to get out of there. Avon and Francine decide to stay there while all the others leave to find an alternate route. They all continue their journey and keep talking to each other on the way. Carly gets hungry on the way and they see a dead mink on the way. On the other hand, Avon and Francine spend time together and make love to each other while someone can be seen keeping an eye on them. Scott talks about his marriage with Carly and tells her about eloping, which infuriates Carly, and she asks him to never talk about this again. Next, they see a fire and keep calling for help, but no one replies back. Scott is seen again discussing their marriage when suddenly Carly and others disappear from there. Scott gets very upset and Carly scares him from behind. At the same time, Avon goes missing while Francine was checking Chris's car. As she goes to find him in the jungle, she is seen getting attacked by a cannibal and is mercilessly killed along with Avon. Chris and Jesse reach the end of the hill but finds no road nearby while Scott and Carly join them. They decide to continue their journey and Jesse talks about Avon and Francine and that they must not have left them there. They reach a house in the hope of finding a phone. Jesse feels very strange after looking at things outside the house. Chris decides to enter the house when no one replies and shouts that they have 2 broken cars and need a phone immediately to call for help. They all enter the house and find it very strange. After inspecting for a little bit, Carly finds a dead body in the washroom while all of them find human body parts spread around. The moment they decide to leave the house, 3 cannibals arrive in their truck. Jesse and Chris hide under the bed while Scott and Carly hide inside the bathroom. They throw Francine's body in front of Jesse and Chris, and Jesse are barely able to control their screams. Later, they drag Francine's dead body and start chopping it into pieces that is now being seen by Carly from the hole in the lock, and Scott covers her mouth to prevent her from screaming. They keep hiding for some more time and soon all 3 cannibals sleep to take a nap. They all manage to stay quiet and escape from the house, but surprisingly the cannibals wake up and run behind the people to hunt them down. Chris and his friends run into the jungle, but after a while Carly gets really tired from all the running. Scott motivates her by telling her about their marriage and not coming again to the woods. They all reach a place where they see many cars and vehicles which belong to the victims of the cannibals. After a while, the cannibals arrive there on their truck and Chris alerts all the others to get down and stay quiet. Chris notices that their truck was left turned on and they make a plan to distract them. Chris runs to distract them and to make them follow him, but gets shot in the leg nearby. Scott watches this and runs from there, making them all follow him while others run towards the truck. Upon reaching the truck, they find the dead body of Avon there. Carly gets really scared of their situation. They all got into the truck and run from there while we see that a person with 3 fingers keeps following them for a while. They keep looking for Scott, and as he reaches the truck, Scott is killed by one eye, he is shot with arrows. Chris, Carly, and Jesse run from there while Carly gets very sad about the death of his fiancée. They keep traveling until they reach a place where the road was blocked by trees. From there they decide to continue their journey on foot, but Carly gives up being since she seems really sad about Scott's death. Jesse makes her understand that Scott gave his life to save them, and if she does not survive she is going to waste Scott's sacrifice. Carly then agrees and they continue walking a little further. Chris barely survives a bear trap. After a while, when they decide to have some rest, they find a watchtower nearby and get on it, hoping to find a radio or phone. Jesse finds a first aid box and dresses the wound of Chris while Carly finds some lights and a radio. At night, they try to contact someone through the radio but fail. Chris watches the cannibals passing nearby, but when the radio starts working, the cannibals hear the voice. They start to get on the watchtower while Carly and Jesse keep talking to the police. They cover the door with heavy furniture and the cannibals set the watchtower on fire. Carly breaks the window and decides to jump down, stating that she prefers to die by jumping rather than getting burned alive. Chris likes the idea and jumps first, landing safely on the branch of a big tree. Later, Carly and Jesse jump as well. They thought that they were not spotted by the cannibals, but soon an arrow hits the tree from the ground. 3 fingers climb up the tree to follow them. Chris and Jesse cross the branch of the tree to hide behind the leaves while Carly is seen getting killed by 3 fingers with an axe. Jesse tries to scream, but Chris covers her mouth to hide from 3 fingers. While escaping from there, Chris thinks of a plan and holds a branch of a tree tightly while Jesse provokes 3 fingers to follow her and attack her. As he comes closer to Jesse, Chris leaves the branch, which hits 3 fingers and makes him fall off the tree. As One Eye and Saw Teeth get busy looking after 3 fingers, Chris and Jesse grab that opportunity and they both run from there to hide behind a waterfall where they watch the cannibals moving farther. Jesse changes the dressing of Chris's wound, who apologizes to her for her friends, and Jesse tells him that she had a breakup the previous week. Jesse says that after 20 minutes of telling Carly, all of her friends appeared there and took her to the jungle, but now all of them are dead. Chris then calms her, saying that it is not her fault. In the morning, Jesse wakes up hallucinating about the cannibals and Chris tells her she is dreaming. They keep walking and finally reach the road, and as they attempt to go to the road, cannibals arrive there and take Jesse with them after throwing Chris down the slope. Chris watches a police car and stops it for help, but before he could have said anything to the sheriff, One Eye kills the sheriff with an arrow. Chris tries to start the car but fails and One Eye shoots at him. Chris hides under the car. One Eye thinks that Chris is dead, and after not finding him in the car he looks down the car, but Chris was not there too and is seen in bushes. As One Eye starts the car to go back to his brothers, Chris comes under the car and goes to their house. Jesse is seen bound on the bed when Saw Teeth come closer to her and she apologizes to him, asking him to help her, but he puts a knife near her throat. Before he could kill her, One Eye arrives there and brings in the body of the sheriff, which they start to chop into pieces. One Eye asks Saw Teeth to kill Jesse, and as he gets closer to her, Chris attacks him with the sheriff's car by distracting him. Chris then gets out of the car and attacks One Eye. After injuring him badly, Chris tries to open Jesse but is attacked by Saw Teeth. Saw Teeth gains the upper hand on Chris, but then Jesse manages to set her free and shoots an arrow in his head. After dealing with these two, Chris is attacked by 3 fingers and is injured by Jesse with the help of his axe. Chris picks up the shotgun and moves out of the house when all of the cannibals start getting up, even though they are all injured badly. Jesse asks him to shoot them, but Chris tells her about having only a single round in his gun and shoots the petrol cans in the sheriff's car, which destroys their whole house. Chris and Jesse get their truck and drive away. On the way, they stop at the shop, and the shopkeeper hides after looking at the truck. Chris comes out and takes off the map from the wall of the shop. After that, they both travel away from the jungle and the movie ends here. In the post-credits scene, we see a police officer, who arrives at the scene to investigate the burnt house of the cannibals. He is seen getting attacked by 3 fingers, which meant that the cannibals have survived the explosion and the fire. To watch many more exciting recaps like this, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Let us know in the comments section about the next favorite movie that you would like us to recap. Thanks again for watching and stay safe and healthy.